Hello guys, what's up? This is Matt here, and I'm going to be talking about two videos that we did recently. Now, for college, about 6 or 7 years ago, I made a short story called After the Bombs. I did it all on my own, and I ended up getting a reasonably high mark for it as well. So I kind of thought I was onto something. GFA, he actually helped me make it as well. He helped me, hold the camera. He helped me show which was the best way to do it, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be playing both videos, and I'll be showing you why we chose to do something different, our thought process in the editing suite, and whatnot. So as you can tell here, the first video, it starts off with it starts off with the exact same as this. It starts with exactly the same, but you can see that there's a different sound in this one. We've got a kind of video. We've got some typical video with sound over it. So think of, like, I was taking a lot of influence from The Walking Dead, for example. So that's why I had this old, guitar music playing in the background. However, this one we decided to go completely different. We decided to do it like a radio, because we're going to try and broadcast it. And we have some of the higher powers at the moment dictating some of the recent events. So we had Theresa May, we had Donald Trump, we had, which you'll hear in a second anyway. So as you can tell, both scenes are roughly, similar. However, also bear that in mind as this. However, it's just this intro here is just a smooth all the way, no cuts kind of thing. However, this as well, we decided to cut it up, and you can hear that, like the radio chat, and it just cuts to based on likely events, which is a joke that we did. Still music being played in this one all the way through. So I didn't really have a credit scene because I didn't want to waste time. It had to be around 7.5 minutes, and that's just at 7:21. So you can say that the colour's different. I went for an old Dream colour, colour correction. You can see here, it looks much. I don't know what I was doing back then, but obviously I was only, 16, 17. So, and this is filmed in Spain as well. This wasn't even filmed in England. So a lot of it was, touch and go. I didn't plan any of this. I was just working out what shots to get there as well. So if I just carry on playing these now, you can see two, as I said, two very different openings with the same gist, the same idea, kind of thing as well. So then here we cut straight to 2027. And then this one here though carries on. So they both, this one's a minute longer, just under a minute longer. This scene's one of them. What I basically do is, this is one of my favourite scenes I've ever done, because if this was taken with a HD camera, you can imagine the sun off of my goggles. And then I pretty much walk into the building. The entire place has been destroyed. I pick up a, you thought you are not so smart kind of thing, like, it's kind of like a little nod, to the old, to the old kind of old world. I've got like an Alien vs Predator bandana around my face. Then find a bottle of water, or a bottle of whatever that could be. It's actually a Fallout 4 memento. It's actually what's it called? Like a sunset sarsaparilla. So I go upstairs, and I pretty much I loot this bedroom. I check a safe, and and then I put on a leather jacket, and then you see me riding with the leather jacket. And it was meant to be a story about how I got it, how I got the leather jacket. But the only problem is, chronologically, it does make sense because I've got the leather jacket, here. I've got the leather jacket here. Then I just don't have it again. I should have done it the other way around. But anyway, so this then plays. sorry, and then cut to 2027. 2040, sorry, 2027. So this then starts with, and I'll talk about this in a second. This starts the same place again. It's exactly the same film and location we did. It's still there. It's this abandoned restaurant and petrol station with a little like club underneath. I think my mum and dad used to go there when they were little as well. So it was quite a hit place to be, but it's now completely run down. This scene here, I don't know if I panned well enough. There's a road here, and I had filmed this scene. My GFA was sitting in the boot of a car. Someone was driving, and he was holding the camera at me to try and get this. You know, we didn't have a drone, we didn't have a dolly, we didn't have a gimbal. We tried to make it as straight as possible, but there was a road here. So I had to extend the scene, and to kind of hide the car, which made me, you know, look like I've gained 600 pounds. And so, and over the top, there's a monologue. And the monologue is about me saying that I had a wife, and she was taken from me, and you know, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna take out as many people as I can before I go. So it was kind of like, I didn't care about life anymore. I just wanted to kill as many people as I could. I'm holding a revolver replica as well. But I've still got a leather jacket, but I've got a hoodie on because this is obviously 13 years later, so it's a lot colder as well. Now with the long monologue playing, it was a little bit different. We decided to go for some ambient noises. I'll let you listen now. So, you know, we had some nice noises. This is filmed on my drone. Now it was a bit finicky and shaky because it was quite windy that day as well. So you can see him go past, kind of thing. It's a very shot on a Phantom drone and a Sony A7S with a 50mm lens. This is the first thing we did. We've now got a better lens, thank God. But it was shot on a 50mm lens, which is a good lens, but it restricted us. You know, it restricted us to shoot in close-ups pretty much. This thing's quite funny because when GFA and I were trying to find sound stings, we found this free sound sting pack online, and we decided to you know, let this run its course, and we were just chucking sound effects everywhere. We did get rid of all of them, but then we added these sound stings here that we don't have in the original. So if you listen, and then we're, you know, back at where we started. However, we are only round here, you know, but obviously it's the way that we were using the shots, you can't tell. So this is me, this is George Carr. Now, we had the problem of, I had to fly the drone, so Carr played the actor. However, I'll explain why that was a problem in a minute. So you can see it, both you know, stable tripod shot, shaky handheld shot. Monologue's still going, you know, monologue's still going. But you can see, like, you know, it's roughly the same shot. So, you know, here and here, drone shot, pan to the right, really nice shot that we did. And then he kind of jumps in, similar to the one before. So he goes in. So, you know, it is a lot of the same shot. However, this one here, when you see here, there's a man here. Now we didn't do this with this. We wanted to keep it, you know, tense. This was kind of a scarier version. You know, there's a guy there. That's like a sound sting. So we wanted to keep this more tense, much more tense. You know, so this is, you know, just peeking around. Have it like slowly walking around. We then have a really nice shot here from that George thought of on the spot. So he focuses on the rock. I walk in, he unfocuses. This is me now. I carry on walking through, and then I walk down, and then he focuses back out to the pillar. He like drew the focus really nicely there as well. And then I walk downstairs, and then this is the same shot again, but from a different angle. So here you've got, it's a shaky, you know, looking up at me, and here it's walking in. Now these shots are filmed obviously in the same location, but they're two different shots. So if you just watch with me, let me turn this down. So you know, you've got George Carr sitting on the side right now. Now this is why we had to swap back, because that's George, the beginning guy, was wearing these shoes, not these shoes. I've still got these shoes from 7 years ago. They still fit, God knows how. So they've got holes in them and all sorts. But I've always wanted to reshoot it, so I've always kept the entire costume. So he had the same shoes on, so we had that problem in post, and I was texting GFI. I was editing the video on a train to work into London, and I was texting GFA like, oh, you know, Carl walks in, dies, and then I come in. That's what you ordered in the same you know way as well. So you know, it's two different things. I go over here. I'm ripping a page out of the Bible. I'm writing down, you know, May 2040. You know, and I'm writing my daily things. But here, as I'm writing it, you'll see. So I'll pull him off now. So here, that falls down. Now in here, you know, I'm checking it. I'm checking, and another nice shot here. It would have been much nicer with a wide angle lens as well, but we didn't have one then, we do now. But however, this is our first project. We wanted to really get edited together and do it together, because we both did it together, you know, back when we were like 16, 17. So it was kind of like a throwback to filming that. And then if you watch this, a nice draw focus onto me. And then, you know, I look up, I'm like, okay, you know, time to move. I'm relaxed now. And then I just take off my jacket and stuff, because obviously I'm inside now. Take off my jacket, and I put this, you know, this vest on. But as I'm putting it on, I hear, like, you know, if I let you listen. I hear like a whistling. I hear a whistling, so I'm like, wow, what is that? And I go over, kind of like a long take kind of thing, walk over. Another one of those sound pieces come in, and now these play, you know, concurrently through that the rest of the piece. We didn't want to give a large influx of different, you know, or different noises, because it just wouldn't make sense, and it would just seem, you know, student-y. But you know, this comes down, that comes down, and then you've got the exact same scene, you know. But here I did it so I hear that come down, and then, like, you know, that was a draw focus. But remember, I'm shooting on I still got the video camera somewhere. It's this crappy 720p camera, and it wasn't very good, but you know the gist. And then I'm kind of going insane here. So you know, like it was actually a Mac Miller song. Can't actually remember the song. It was off his Macadelic EP. The beginning song had loads of women speaking to him, and I took that, distorted it a tiny bit, and then chucked over the "Row, Row, Row Your Boat" song, the whistle to it, and obviously that made it sound creepy. And here as well, you can see the door here shut. But again, if it was on this camera, you would have seen it so much better. But you know, you couldn't. However, so I walk back. I drop the Bible. I walk in. You know, I'm walking back in, and then I'm in, and I'm slowly walking back in with the sound. You can tell it sounds so much better. I actually just got like a random couple of footsteps online and just put them over the top. But I was really pushing it, because I did all the work on my own kind of thing. So I was really pushing it about what I could and couldn't do. Now look at the composition of these shots. This shot here is you're looking in one doorway. You know someone's going to come through this doorway. Over here, you know, there's a black here, there's black here, there's a door here, there's a black here, there's a door here. You know, anything could happen. It's one of those things where, you know, it's scary. It's one of those things you don't know what's going to happen next. But here you can roughly tell something's going to happen here, and you know, and it does. And that's actually GFA. Charlie's holding the shaky ass camera here. That's GFA. He comes in, he picks up the Bible. He's like, "Ah, the fuck is this shit?" Throws it to the side. And then proceeds, you know, to like walk. This is John as well, so the height difference is funny. So that happens there, you know, and I actually throw a rock into this room to get their attention. You know, proper game style, proper, you know those like really crappy AI that, you know, you throw a rock and then they go to it. So these guys head over here. And they head over here and they, you know, they do all that, and then I run, and if you see there, GFA throws a stick back, and then here, this is where I ended it here. So I, you know, he pops out, he keeps looking out, different shot each time, and then here you can see the door open. So out of all these 4 different ones, this door opens, and then cut to black, and then, you know, credits come in. Now I got rid of the ending on it because I wanted to keep it ambiguous. I wanted to do it so if we wanted to do, you know, if we wanted to carry it on, we could have, but I feel like because we aren't, you know, amazing just yet, it's hard to you know, it's hard to really get a gist of, you know, of how to do it well. So we'll just start watching this now, and I'll talk over it. So, you know, what I then do is I then run out the building. You know, I see I can jump over. The only thing that does make sense is how they got out so quickly. I jump over that jump cut I did. I just cut in general, and then I get out my revolver and I start walking aimlessly back, you know, around, forgetting that there's a doorway to my left. My mate was on top of the building here. One of the riskiest things he's probably ever done, because, you know, you're not meant to be standing on top of a roof that's falling apart, you know. So I'm walking back, and then, you know, because I'm an idiot. The only problem is, and obviously it's a lot of problems because I was only 16, I didn't think of it. I look to my right here. Now this is here, so I'll keep my mouse where the I think concrete things were. Bang, I'm out. You know, and then I look around. I'm like, what's going on? You know, I'm like dozing in that concrete. My mouse is still here. So somehow when I looked around and looked back, they were there in a second. So unless there's a flash, that didn't work very well. But I didn't notice that until I was editing it, and I was 2 days before handing it in, because I was doing all the paperwork myself as well, so it was a little bit more hard to do anyway. So they then grab my gun. He grabs my gun and walks there. John is here. Now he aims at me, but GFA's picking up the gun. John's behind me. You know, sorry, John's here. Doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. So that's the 2 after the bomb openings that we did. I wanted to do an editing video because, you know, I think it was cool because people who like films always forget there's a behind the scenes. So, for example, Game of Thrones came out last night for English people, and I think it was for all of the EU actually, maybe. And there was a 13-minute fight that, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. They did a 14-minute documentary about it, pretty much like a mini documentary. So people do like watching those kind of things, and I thought it'd be quite nice to see our thought process on each one. This is just some crappy logo I made. I pretty much just overlaid the text, and it doesn't really make any sense. And then the title comes in, and it's, you know, it's like with a nuke going off on the bomb. It you know, and then another, yeah. It was very, you know, student-y as well. So thanks guys, that was the after the bombs, you know, breakdown. If you have any questions, please drop a comment and we'll get back to you. as well. Thanks for watching, guys.